here I am with a bandaged face. What happened? It's the first question I would ask. So I had Mohs surgery yesterday. What's Mohs surgery? It's a cancer on the face that has not metastasized. And so there's a special procedure that specially trained dermatologists or surgeons learn, where they are very delicate about taking a little at a time and then biopsying it right away for a pathology report to see if they've gotten all the borders. And if they have, they sew you up in a special way, special. I know that's the theme word of Mohs surgery, that it is very special. And for those of us who want the least amount of scarring, and it's a wonderful addition to the offerings when you have these things happen. So why am I showing up with a bandage? I could wait till there's less of a bandage. And that would be if I didn't feel good enough because of it. And I admit there was a second of, geez, look at the size of that bandage. And there was a thought, oh, I'll wait for my next video to make it when the bandage is not so present. And I thought, no, there's nothing wrong with me. That's a residual old thought of I need to look better, need to be more, need to something to be acceptable in the world. And I see I forgot my earrings today, and that's okay too. I usually wear earrings because that feels dressed, but okay, I'm undressed today. So let me go ahead with why I'm particularly making this video for you today. I want to bring you into my surgery, not for the medical. I was just explaining so you would know what Mohs surgery is in case you need to know it sometime. But it was a very strange experience at the time for me. This doctor was highly recommended, and I didn't check out a lot of Mohs surgeons or go around with my left brain to make a choice. I have found that picking my publisher for the book, picking my writing coach, having an editor picked for me, have all been done through the oneness, in the sense that I didn't know any publishers and one was offered. I didn't know any book coaching for writers and one just came into my lap. And I'm not special. Special is apparently an important word in this video. We're all offered so many things, opportunities, people, events, a different road, a different fork in our road, but we tend to not notice them. We tend to be focused on what we think we should do or run it by our brains. And I'm not saying that's not a good way. It just works for me to be very intuitive. And when it's clear cut, the way this doctor's name came to me, I knew he was the one. So I met him once for the consult and then second time yesterday. And he comes in with his assistant who's already numbed me, and they're deep in a conversation. And it goes on the entire time of the surgery. It's not anything I can pick up on. Not that I'm talking, but it's like I wasn't there. They were having It was intimate, but not sexual or not personal, but it was very engaged, intimate. They were deep in a subject. It was very strange to be the fly on the wall, if you will. And I went back to the personality that I've had most of my life. I went into judgment. This is no way to do surgery. I hope you can concentrate. This is so inappropriate. Wait till I tell you. Couldn't wait in my mind to tell them off and tell, as though I was teaching them about protocol. It would have been under that guise, like, hey, let me just tell you what it's like to be a patient underneath your conversation. That's what I had in mind. And all of a sudden I stopped. I didn't know why. It just was an overwhelming no. Do not proceed. It wasn't even a lot of words. It was just visceral. I could see this was not the outcome I wanted. And I have a whole lot of training on non-judgment. It wasn't from the brain. It wasn't from a mental strategy. It was just stop. Now I realize all the work that went into shifting my life after Melissa died, and suffering at first because how could this happen? We were in such a good place. This can't be. What? This doesn't happen to people like us. I didn't have that thought. Someone like me did, someone close to me. But that's a version of, I cannot believe this happened. It can't be true. Waking up thinking, was that a nightmare? Did it really, is this a daymare? Is it still true? And then all of you know by now that I was shaken, awake to everything is in a certain kind of order. There is nothing wrong. Yes, she's dead. I remember it. But actually, there's an okayness, a life force, a part of isness that gets this. That's not the personal self. The personal self would still have a different choice. There's something in all of us. I'm claiming it for you too. There's something in all of us that is part of the isness of life, that is not the result of your money, your success, your house, your relationships, your beauty, your bad thoughts, your good thoughts, anything. It just is life, just like all weather is part of the isness, even though we like some weather better. Our liking has nothing to do with the weather is. So I want to tell you very briefly how this ended up. And if we need to go to another video to go on, I'm committed to keeping these shorter. So I was in this very neutral place. I stopped adding on to the thoughts. Those of you who read my book, When Wisdom Arrives from Imagined Unworthiness to Freedom, you know that I spent pages teaching this little girl how adding to her thoughts creates the psychological suffering. And I stopped. And then I had a break while they were looking for the pathology, waiting to see if they got all the cancer. And I was talking to a friend on message, on text, and she was outraged too. Oh, you need to tell them at some point. That's not protocol. And you need to tell the patient she's doing well and what you're doing. And of course, this is the correct, quote unquote, way that we teach decorum. But I didn't buy it. I knew that wasn't my way. And I stayed in a kind of great place that was not happy, but not unhappy, and not upset about them, and not judgmental. And what if he had a neurologically different brain, this doctor? And what if he needs to talk or do something else while he's doing surgery, to do his best surgery? Wouldn't I want him to have this conversation? And by the way, when I had brain surgery, a 14-hour brain surgery, I had it done by a man who was so far into the spectrum that if I didn't follow intuition, I would have walked out of the pre-surgery, but he was the one to do the surgery. So I've had a little experience between Melissa's death, my brain surgery, this guy writing the book. It's in my neurological system. It's wired in me to not add to the negativity. I don't say negativity usually because this is not about making things positive. It's finding the isness, which is neither positive or negative. So, by the way, it ended when I went into the surgery again. They found all the margins to be clear. And he comes in singing with the music that's on the videos. He has a terrible voice and he's singing to the Beatles. And I belly laughed. I am in such, I don't know, it just was hysterical to me. Now, if you know me or if you know you, when you're in a judgmental place, you don't pop right into belly laughs. There isn't even enough forgiveness in the world to instantly go to that kind of joy. And he liked performing to me, so he sang some more. And it was so fine. Can I say that I would rather have the regular protocol? Maybe. But this was such a good example of how the strategies in the book are not just for a fable and not just for people interested in non-duality. Every single person can apply this to our lives. You see a hurtful thought. I was judging the man and his partner, the assistant. I was either hurting them, but in a more metaphysical way, I was hurting both of us. I stopped and a new moment happened. And I could enjoy his singing and the silliness of it all, to doing surgery while you're singing to the Beatles. And that's my story for today. I hope that you can apply it to your life to find satisfaction, freedom, even joy in what was upsetting the last second. Thank you for being with me. Bye for now.